Welcome to the Intro to Private Practice Teaching mini course. In this course, we cover the essential steps for creating your own private practice teaching business. You will get an overview of all the different parts of the process, as well as guidance for each step along the way. A couple of quick reminders as you get started. First, you have lifetime access to this course because I want you to be able to work at your own pace and to revisit any of the videos you need to as you're working. Second, make sure that you have downloaded the Getting Started checklist found below this video. This will show you all of the different steps that you're going to be taking as you go throughout this mini course. It'll help you see the big picture as well as keep track of everything that you have accomplished along the way. And finally, please reach out to me if you have any questions or feedback. My email is noted below, as well as a link to our private Facebook group. And in that private Facebook group are many of our program alumni. So if you have any questions for them, feel free to reach out and ask. And I'm sure some of them will respond to your questions and inquiries with some feedback of their own. Here is an overview of the course as a whole. First is a brief intro, and that's a part of this video that you're watching now. Next is finding your niche. Following that is setting up your business. Then marketing your business, aka finding your students. Then we will dive into workflow systems to help your business run smoothly. And then finally, how the private practice teacher can support you along the way. So if we haven't already met, my name is Rachel Siccioni. I'm a second career professional. Prior to going into teaching, I worked as an ophthalmic assistant, meaning I was the person that helped figure out your eyeglass and contact lens prescriptions. Before that, I also worked in retail sales and retail sales management. Once I met my husband, however, I went back to college to pursue the job that I really always wanted, which was to be a teacher. We had our 2 daughters, and then I ended up leaving the classroom after the spring of 2020. Then, in the fall of 2020, I accidentally started my first business, My French U, where I teach my students to this day in private lessons and private tutoring. Then I left the classroom completely. So in 2020, it was kind of a side hustle with some subbing, and I did a long-term sub. But then I left the classroom completely and went all in on my business in 2021. And that was the year that I was able to make it profitable and replace the money I had been earning in the classroom. And then finally, in 2022, I started the private practice teacher in order to help other teachers enjoy the financial time freedom that I had found teaching in private practice. So here's what private practice teaching has meant for me personally and why I'm so excited to share it with others. So first, I have a flexible schedule, so I can get my kids on and off the bus. And that's really what got everything started. I needed to be able to do that because childcare costs were so expensive. And the pandemic made it so that neighbors and older family members were not comfortable helping out in the ways that they had previously. It also means no more subplans or added stress when my kids are sick or when I'm sick. It is not mental gymnastics. It's a no-brainer. When my kids are sick and they need to stay home, I can stay home with them and simply shift my classes online or reschedule them if I need to. So no more subplans. I have not missed them one bit. I have my evenings and my weekends back. I don't do any work for either business. On the weekends, I get to be fully present with my family. And my evenings are now dedicated to helping the teachers that I work with. All of my students I now see during the day. It means I am not too exhausted to think about what's for dinner. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I'm not too exhausted to do it at all, which is wonderful. I choose the students and families that I work with. So if it's not going to be a good fit, I don't work with them. If I don't feel that I can live up to the expectations that they have of me or the expectations or help them reach the expectations that they have for themselves, then I simply say, I'm not the teacher for you. I don't think this is a good fit. And so getting to choose the students and families I work with ensures that I'm always showing up for people that I genuinely enjoy spending time with and enjoy teaching. And it has just made it so much more of a joy-filled process for me, being able to teach and work with the people that I work with. I don't dread seeing any of the people that I work with, which is wonderful. I have no more extra duties or have any ridiculous initiatives that I have to adhere to because somebody's told me that I have to now do this. I only do the things that directly impact the learning of the students that I personally am working with. And that has been amazing and definitely cut down on my workload. And I choose where and even how I work, which is also wonderful. If I wanted to work with students in person, I can work with them in person. If that's not feasible, we can work online. And that has been a really fun addition for me as well. It has given me a lot of freedom, financial, time, and mental freedom. I can even get to my own doctor's appointments. And this is why I am really excited to be able to share this with as many teachers as possible. So before we go any further, there's one more thing that I want to talk about in this introduction video, and that is the difference between teaching and tutoring. This is a question I get all the time when I tell people what I do. Oh, I'm a private teacher. And the next thing they come back with 9 times out of 10 is, oh, so you tutor. Well, I used to, but I don't anymore, and I haven't tutored for the last 2 years. All of my students are teaching students, and that means that I am the primary instructor. I design the curriculum, the assessments, the lessons, the units of study. A lot of times I co-create with my students and families the things that they would like to study, and I build it around the interests and goals that they already have. For me, that's one of the things I love most about teaching, and it's very fun for me to have the freedom to make my lessons customized in that way. And it requires more prep time, energy, and expertise than tutoring does because I'm the one who is driving the course of the instruction. Whereas with tutoring, you are not the primary instructor. You are triaging difficulty with concepts that the students are having in someone else's classroom. So they are already taking that content as a class in someone else's classroom. They have a primary instructor. And as a tutor, I'm simply providing supplemental instruction to triage any of those areas of difficulty, either with skills practice or understanding of concepts in general. And because of that, it requires less prep time and less energy for me. So my teaching students, they're my preferred students. I enjoy them the most because I love the creativity and freedom that comes with the teaching part. I love the light bulb moments, and I love seeing the students grasp the concepts and get excited about what we're doing. I love going down the rabbit holes with them. Those are some of the reasons that I became a teacher, and we'll talk about why you became a teacher in the next video. So now all of my students are really teaching students, and I charge more for that because I'm going to get paid for not just the student-facing time, but for the time it takes for me to prepare and for the expertise, the time it took for me to cultivate the skills that I have in order to be the teacher that I am. And so I charge more for my teaching clients. Tutoring, on the other hand, is supplemental instruction. It requires much less prep time. I'm not driving the course of the instruction. I'm simply following what the primary instructor is doing and helping to add clarification wherever the student needs. And so because I don't really have to spend much time preparing for that, I've been teaching my content for quite a long time now. I really just charge for my student-facing time with my tutoring. So I'm sure as you're going through this journey too, you will have people asking you the difference between teaching and tutoring, and now you know the difference. And I will see you in the next video.